All right, everybody, how are you doing? How are you feeling out there? So, I recognize since I've been using a different software that my audio sounds different than it did before, and honestly, I preferred the previous audio sound, but I like this software, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to find the best of both worlds and allow them to meet. But anyway, I am here. My name is Tezra. Tezra, I am your mental chiropractor where I'm here to help you realign your mind. And a way to do that is to break out of the programming. But in order to break out the programming, we have to also realize that we are operating out of a programmed, conditioned, coded mind. So I have a video here. I don't think I'm going to show the entire thing, but I do want to just show this video because I don't know if this video made it to mainstream media. Um, I have a hunch that it didn't, only because of the subject in the video. If this subject had been someone different with a different level of melanin in their skin, they definitely would have made it as a mainstream story, only because they can then spin it to where there is a open season or is a target, or this all happened because of the person's melanin level in their skin. But this video right here, I just wanted to share this because it is antithetical to that which would normally be the storyline if it had been a person who has a higher concentration of melanin in their skin. So let's look at this, and I want to break this down a little bit, even though it is very unfortunate. But I just need to emphasize that a lot of the times people, especially when it comes to the melanated community, that just because their skin happens to be melanated does not mean that is the reason why an unfortunate incident happens to them. I'm going to continue to harp on that until I get that across to somebody, break somebody's mental conditioning or mental programming to say, yep, because here is a situation that could have been very likely anybody in the situation. But if it was a melanated person, the whole narrative would have been, it's only, and it's unfortunately for the skin, because the skin is like, I'm just laying here covering the body, like, what the fuck? I get blamed for all of this, and I'm just laying here covering the body. But so yeah, if it was a person of a melanated persuasion, then it would have been a whole different narrative. And it's unfortunate because it only would have come down to the level of melanin in the person's skin rather than the person. So I just want us to take a look at this.
I told you to stop! Call the authorities now!
I think I just witnessed a killing at Lowe's.
This chaotic scene erupted mere moments after Freddie Nelson and his wife Carrie arrived at the Delta Park Lowe's in Portland, Oregon. What may have started as an explosive argument rapidly escalated, turning deadly in the blink of an eye.
The security guard just shot my husband!
About 7 months before this appalling incident took place in September 2020, 49-year-old Freddie Nelson, a home renovator and woodworker, was stopped by two security guards after he'd loaded up his truck with wooden pallets taken from behind Lowe's. The guards worked for the Cornerstone Security Group, which provided armed security and was hired only to patrol the parking lots of Delta Park. While it's unclear what happened prior to the security guard's body cam footage being turned on, Freddie can be seen trying to leave.
You're sitting there shaking. You're looking for a fight, man.
Whatever.
I can already tell that the adrenaline's pumping through you. You're ready. You're balling up your fists. I get it. I see it.
I'm balling up my fists, holding my keys.
You want to fight.
You just...
So you know what?
And so you're trying to agitate it,
right now.
And you're trying to
Don't
agitate it.
fight.
You're trying to agitate,
Because
right?
I'm going to take you down.
You're trying to
Do
agitate,
you
right?
understand me?
Yeah?
Do you understand me?
You're trying to agitate, right?
Okay, at this
Answer my
point,
question. Do you
do you
understand?
understand what he's saying?
I do.
Okay,
Good. So are we done here? Can we be done?
We are done. Get in your vehicle, leave that to park.
Hey, look, I'm getting in my vehicle. So you don't need to tell me to.
You're talking to me.
Okay.
Get in your vehicle.
Don't be giving orders.
Get in your vehicle.
Vehicle now.
I gotta go to work anyway.
That's
Go
what I
ahead.
thought.
Okay. So we can see how this all started to transpire. And forgive me, I'm leaving this up like this so I can still see my screen, because if I was to remove this, then I am not able to see for some reason the image goes away, but I'll leave it like that because you all can still see it. But I just wanted to point out that if you saw how the security guards was gaslighting this person to make this person think that he is being combative and ready for a fight, and this person is a low melanated person. And so the security guards, maybe they had a chip on their shoulder because this is a 7-month saga that has been going on between them. And further on in the video, it kind of unfolds how it kind of backs into into this moment here. But as you can see, this person was unarmed. This person is getting in their car innocently, attempting to go to work, and somehow he ends up dead. But I want anybody to tell me if they have seen this in mainstream media. Please put in the comments if you have seen this story covered. I haven't even seen this story covered here on YouTube, but let me tell you something. This is the conditioning. This is where the conditioning and the programming comes into play, and it's so unfortunate that this story should have been covered. I don't know what the outcome of this story was. I will research this and find out, but I don't know what the outcome of the story was. But if this had been a melanated person, this story would have been plastered all over everywhere. And why is that? Because for a few reasons. One is so they could continue to contaminate and program and condition and code the minds of the people of that group, that you are always going to be targeted, that everything that happens to you is strictly and solely because of the melanin level in your skin, unless it's something undeniable, like the young guy who basically forced the police hands to kill him. He and his, I don't know if it was a strange girlfriend or they were in the throes of breaking up, but he had accused her of cheating, and so they had the conversation. She was an influencer in Ohio, I believe, and so they had taped the conversation, and he wasn't irate during the conversation, but then later on he had shot her in the leg, even though I think he was attempting to kill her, but her children intervened and he shot her in the leg, and then he fled the scene. And in his video, he was like, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to make them kill me, y'all. I'm going to make them kill me. I'm sorry, y'all. So there is an apparent psychiatric type of a moment that he was going through, whether or not he suffered from mental illness on a long-term basis, chronically, I'm not sure, but in that moment there was a psychiatric breakdown of some kind, because it's caught right there on. So in that instance, that is probably undeniable. That is probably an argument that's untenable or non-tenable. So but otherwise, if it was a situation like the one that we are viewing here, that would have been all over the news. So for the first reason is because we got to continue to push that narrative out to the people. This is what the invisibles do. This is what the Boulets do, the cabals, however you want to, Illuminatis, whatever you want to call that secret society that is behind and running everything. They control the news, and they control the messaging that goes out to the massive, to the masses, to the public. And so if it was a melanated person as a subject of this incident, then it definitely would have been pushed out, so that another point can be made on their map of mind control, that this is the reason why this happened to that person, because they are of a higher melanin level. Now, the other reason why you did not, what was my I'm not laughing at the subject matter, I'm laughing at myself. because I kind of forgot where I had went. Um, but so the other reason why this would have made it into mainstream media is because they wanted to send the message that it is open season on the black man. That is what the other narrative is, and they know that people will eat it up. They would chomp it up. The woke people will, in efforts to make themselves feel like they're on the right side of humanity, will chump this up. And then, of course, the people who belong to that group, who subscribe to that group, will take it because it's another point of victimization, right? And so, therefore, the Umarians, the Dr. Umars of the world, and all the Umarian followers would just sop this up, you know, like a biscuit. Sorry for the platitude, but yeah, they would just completely sop this up, and instead of using their discernment that they were given, which is a universal given gift. You may want to say God, you may want to say source energy, supreme, the divine, whatever you want to call it, is that which cannot be named. But they would want to use that birthright of a gift to use their discernment to apply critical thinking and to be able to look at things, step back and look at things objectively. Because what happens when you constantly look through the lens of victimization, then you're constantly working out of disempowerment. And when you do that, you are constantly under control. So I just wanted to say that with this. I'm going to let this play a little bit longer. I'm not going to let this whole thing play out. I can put the link in the chat. And so if you're interested in watching it in its entirety, then I would invite you to do so. But we're just going to continue for the sake of this purpose right now.
Go to work. Kirby Avenue. And stay on this side when you come back.
Whatever. Can you please move so you're not blocking the road, a public road?
One of the guards parked the red vehicle you can see in the footage, and it blocked Freddy's ability to leave.
You want to keep going, bro? I'll get out. You. Run, Mike. I'm not. Step back. I'm not dealing with Jish. Okay. You understand? Can you just because you're mad at me and him, do not give me the attitude. I'm going to apologize for that. On his side like that again. So I can get out of the situation.
Do you see how he just said, in a very diplomatic, genuine way, I apologize for that. Can you just have him step away? It does not look like this guy was in for a fight or a struggle or a confrontation of any kind.
The guard eventually moved his vehicle so Freddy could leave, but this was just the beginning of the volatile incidents between Freddy and the Cornerstone security guards. In January 2021, Freddy was once again approached by two guards. They saw that he had collected more pallets and had left his red and black truck out front while he went inside the store.
All right. We can wait here.
Out on this?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know we've had this problem with him before doing this. So I think it's time to boot him out. Because we keep telling him.
Are you saying you're excluding him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know that in the past we've told him not to do that. We keep telling people not to do that. So the other guys have been excluded now.
Yep.
He's excluded.
Yep. Man, you're not supposed to take pallets. I know.
While the guards waited for Freddy to come to his vehicle, they took a look at how many pallets he'd taken. While they seemed to be under the impression that Freddy didn't have permission to take the pallets, this wasn't the case.
We're going to tell him, take those pallets, take them off site, and don't come back until January, what's today, 15th?
Yep, January 15th, 2020.
That's right.
Freddy had been collecting pallets from Lowe's for a few months at that point.
I know you've kind of had trouble with him in the past, haven't you, a little bit?
He doesn't, yeah. We've spoken at Kirby Avenue a couple times. He really doesn't like us.
Well, he's not going to like us right now.
Nope.
But
yeah, no. I'd rather do a show of force on this guy than not.
It was at this moment that Freddy exited the store.
So, we see that you're taking
So the security officer, the armed security officer, had just admitted, I'd rather show a form of force than not. So he already expressed that he is ready to be physical with this person. He is ready to be forceful with this person who we just see on the screen, who just came out of Lowe's.
Taking pallets.
Yeah, I was just gonna talk to manager.
Okay, so here's the problem. It's a property rule violation. So this has nothing to do with Lowe's. We are going to ask you to go ahead, take these pallets off for now, but the problem is because of multiple property rule.
I'm just going to pause it here. Like I said, first of all, shout out to Channel Explore with Us. They have some very interesting content on there. So please go over, check out their channel, subscribe if you're interested in these type of stories, because they do cover a lot of stories that are not going to make it in mainstream media. And I just want to also share with you that this happens more times than not. Unfortunately, if it's not caught on someone's camera and then put on some sort of social media platform, then you're not going to know about it. But if it is someone who is of a heavier level of melanin in their skin, then you are damn sure going to hear about it. I just want you to just to think about it. Think about it. Why? There are horrible things happening to, I won't say innocent people, but to non-threatening people who are low melanated, just as much as things are happening to non-threatening people who are melanated. But the only stories that are constantly shoved in front of our faces, constantly shoved up, the imagery constantly shoved in front of our eyes, is the narratives of the melanated people. So this story happens more than you think. And it's unfortunate for the low melanated people that their stories are not pushed out there, because this looks like it was an injustice. Like I said, I don't know what the outcome of this incident was, but it looks like it was an injustice. I know for sure if this was a melanated person, it would definitely have been chronicled, recorded, and broadcast as an injustice. So why wasn't this person? Now, I don't want to hear anything about probabilities and statistics and ratios and percentages. Don't save all that shit. Save all of it. I'm not interested in none of that. Because first of all, a lot of the times, just like in COVID, when they had was it COVID? I think it was, I know they skewed their percentages in COVID, but there was another public pandemic, or I think it was HIV. Something else where they had skewed the stats in order to favor the narrative that they were pushing. So let's save the whole percentages or the ratio, or let's save that. Let's save that commentary. Don't even come into the chat with that, because it has nothing to do with what I am talking about here. And it also probably isn't true. Those numbers are probably skewed to tip the scales so that the melanated community is on the lower end, quite frankly. But I wanted to share this with you because, see, this is what I am about. I'm here to offer a different perspective. I'm here to dismantle that programming, to undo the programming. And I know my channel is very, very small right now, so it probably is not going to have that great of an impact. But let me tell you, if it does, and when it does, this is when it's going to pose a great threat to the establishment. But here is the thing too. I am tackling this from the mental capacity to bring forth the unity, but we cannot have the true radical unity in its purest form if we do not recondition and reprogram our minds. And so that is why ultimately I'm covering these type of stories and covering this type of information, because at the end of the day, even with the Brulés and the Invisibles or the establishments or whatever you want to call them, at the end of the day, we are still all one. We cannot get around it. You just can't. And I'm not painting anyone to be a villain, and I'm not painting anyone to be a victim. What I am doing is I am drawing the picture. I am pulling out what they are not telling you, is that all of this is crafted. All of this is strategic. There is an agenda. There is a motive to all of this. This is what we call propaganda. When they take a story and they just spin it and turn it and flip it and just force it and push it into your face so that you think a certain way. And when you think that certain way, then that means you have given your power over. You have rendered yourself disempowered. And when you are disempowered, then you can leave those in power and you solidify their power even more. The more you are not in your power, the more powerful they are. So it's time, and it is happening because we are in the age of Aquarius, so nobody can stop it, and they understand this. But I just want to help bring it to the forefront that it is time to balance these scales, where people are now starting to come into their power. So, you know, this is I don't know, I forgot the person's name in this, but it seemed like that there are some overzealous security people. Maybe they failed the test to go onto the police force. I don't know what the issue was, but they definitely had some sort of chip on their shoulder, and it ended up in this guy losing his life. Like it says here, over a simple trespass incident. And apparently this guy, he came out very jovial. He was very docile in saying that, yeah, I just talked with the manager. The manager probably gave him, and we just have to watch the video in its entirety, but it sounds like it's leading towards that manager gave this dude permission to take these pallets, because what the fuck are they going to do with them? None. Even though I did see a guy build a house with these type of pallets. It was quite impressive. But they're not going to do anything with these pallets, and so he's probably doing them a solid by taking them off the property so they don't have to deal with it. But he ended up transitioning from this interaction. So I'm going to stop it here. And it's just something that I want you to think about and to ponder and to begin to look at under more scrutiny of the reason, the purpose, the motive, the agenda that some stories get promulgated and then some stories are just kept in the basement, in the dark, until somebody on YouTube, like Explore With Us, brings it to the light, and I'm very thankful for that. So until next time, remember, we are tuned in, tapped in, but never trapped in. We are never trapped in to the illusion of the division of this thing that is a man-made construct called race. Race is not a real thing, because there is only one race, and that is the human race. Until the next video, y'all, if you're into this content, then go ahead and subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and like this video, because I am about to go even deeper into this, and I'll begin to build out my little studio and figure out what my channel's personality is besides myself. And so until that happens, I just hope that you enjoy the content in the pure form that it is being given. So until the next video, everyone, I'll talk to you later and see you next time. Stay empowered.